There is a floor in Washington, D.C. that should not exist. No elevator buttons lead to it. No map mentions it. And yet, if you take the service lift in the HHS complex at exactly 3:33 a.m., swiping a clearance badge with no serial number, it opens. They call it room 33B. It is a white cube, sterile, lightless, save for the quiet hum of fluorescent panels overhead. In the center stands an antique mirror oval, black-framed, unadorned. It is not under surveillance. It is not monitored, because those who monitor it tend not to stay themselves for long. There are 5 people who read the mirror test questions aloud. 4 of them went into room 33B and never came out. The 5th is currently trapped there and will never come out again. But before that, they let me tell you a story about her. Her name is Dr. Lanier Greaves. Dr. Lanier Greaves had published her first paper at 21. By 32, she was on the advisory board of DARPA's Cognitive Behavior Initiative. Her obsessions are perception, self-awareness, and when identity ceases to be yours. So when a string of identical suicides took place across various government-funded facilities, each after exposure to a so-called mirror resonance interface, they called her in. But each subject had no history of trauma, no record of dissociative conditions. They were lucid, grounded, functional, until one day they weren't. The protocol was simple. Sit, look into the mirror for 1 uninterrupted minute, answer 3 questions. Lanier reviewed archived footage, grainy, black and white. What disturbed her wasn't what was captured, but what wasn't. The reflections never blinked. The lips of the subjects moved slightly out of sync with their own, and then silence, always followed by silence. She reviewed the logs of the 3 questions. What is your name? What have you forgotten? What watches you when you're alone? Each was answered. Each final frame, a subject smiling faintly, as if understanding something the world never would. Within 72 hours, each had taken their life. She volunteered to take the test herself, alone, no observers, no cameras. Inside room 33B, the mirror seemed to throb. The glass rippled faintly, not like water, more like breath held behind a translucent membrane. She sat. The silence was suffocating. Then the voice. Hello, Lenny. It was her voice, but not her. It was too slow, too calm, like someone trying on the sound of her name for the first time. What have you forgotten? She blinked. Her throat dried. I don't know. That's correct, the mirror replied back. The light dimmed. Then the reflection smiled. When she left the room, everything was different. She remembered the questions, but she could not remember her answers. In her apartment mirror later that evening, she noticed it. Her reflection wasn't quite right, not wrong, just lagging. By 3 o'clock, she had ripped every mirror from her walls. She wasn't alone. Files of the 3 previous survivors, all thought mentally stable, showed oddities after the mirror test. Inconsistent handwriting, inverted heart rhythms under scan, family members claiming subtle personality changes. They hadn't survived. They had been replaced. 3 days later, Linnea collapsed in the hallway of her apartment building. No physical injuries, no trauma. But on the walls leading to her apartment were handprints backward and smaller than hers. She was held for psych evaluation. But one nurse, shaken, claimed Linnea would speak to her own reflection at night in the hospital mirror, and the reflection would respond. 3 months later, a package arrived at room 33B, no return address. Inside, a VHS tape and a note. It can't enter unless it is seen. Burn every mirror, every screen, every eye. The footage shows Linnea staring at the mirror. She never blinks. Not once. And then the glass shifts, becoming black like ink or oil. She walks toward it. Her reflection stays behind, smiling, taunting, waiting for the next entrance into 33B.